Well, thank you everyone for coming out to our third annual Fish Fest. Getting ready for another exciting year of Blue Wahoos baseball. My name's Erik Bremer. I'm the broadcaster for the team, and we look forward to bringing you the stories of the Blue Wahoos again here in 2024. Tonight, we've got a Q&A session. We're going to have Quint Studer, Jonathan Griffith, Jacob Berry, Ike Buxton, and Jordan McCants in that order over the course of the next hour. But we figured we'd start with the man at the top, Quint Studer. Quint, how are you doing?
Well, I just did my Q&A.
Every time the calendar turns over to January, despite what the weather might suggest, we are getting close to baseball season, and I'm sure that provides an opportunity for you to reflect on how much this market has grown, how much this team has grown since affiliated professional baseball came here in 2012.
Oh yeah, I mean, we were having a good time talking about where we started, but the good news is if it wasn't for Bill Hamilton at Pensacola State College, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Because when he reached out, and I wasn't involved, so there was a group out of Birmingham that owned the Pelicans until they ran out of money, and that was about halfway through the year. And so if it wasn't for Bill Hamilton, we wouldn't have that. And then, because we only could seat 300 at Pensacola State College, and those were chairs that Rishi and I put out. We had a little stands there. And then Richard Berg, who's deceased now, a great man at the University of West Florida, came to see me and said, we'd like you to play out at University of West Florida. And again, without that, we wouldn't have gotten here. So it's been a journey in every stair step. But what's really good for me is, we had people, I don't know if you're aware of this, we had some people that didn't want the stadium, like 7,800 of them or so, and all of that. And I can understand, but we had people that used to come to Pensacola and count the fans. I think C.J. Lewis was his name. And then he'd go on these things and say, how are they going to draw anybody down there? There's only 300 or 200 or 400 there. So it's really nice to see what this is. And I was talking to Paul Chestnut, who's now going to be in the Pensacola Sports Hall of Fame in February, put in him and his son Matty. And I said, what's really cool is because when we had dreams of this stadium, it was really about a neighborhood. Because, neighborhoods have disappeared in some way. Air conditioning, people aren't out as much. It's really air conditioning means people stay inside. If you read research on this, there's not sidewalks like there used to be, people playing ball in the street. So where is the neighborhood? So when we built the stadium, we didn't want the food down below like a lot of stadiums. We wanted the food up because we wanted to make it like a main street, like a concourse, like a neighborhood. And I think that's truly, I hope you feel that way. We really feel that baseball is a little bit like a neighborhood. And the other magic about the season is, I think, every summer we went to Turtle Lake, Wisconsin for the summer. And we wouldn't be there all year. But then we'd go up in the summer, we'd run into all these people we got to know at the stadium or at the lake. And because you didn't live by each other during the year. And I think it's sort of neat when baseball season starts, people just start reconnecting. They see old friends. They sort of get to know where they sit and who they sit with. And that's really what we want to create, just that feeling of family, feeling of neighborhood, and so on. So I'm really excited. Wall Street Journal interviewed me today about Pensacola because they said, what the heck happened here? In 2009, this place wasn't humming. And now it's become like the vibrant city people talk about. So, and I think the stadium's had a lot to do with that.
So many teams have that initial honeymoon period where the attendance is high and everything is good, and then the cracks start to show as the years go on. But we are now well into the second decade of Blue Wahoos baseball, and we continue to see great numbers on the field, in the community. What types of things do you feel you prioritize that have helped lead to that success?
Well, we knew that we were going to draw well the second year. And I think what happens with owners, first of all, most owners love baseball. I love baseball, but that's not what I pay attention to. I still don't know our record half the time. People say...
That's my job.
People say, how's the team doing this year? I said, our fan experience is 91. Our fan experience is this. So I think the first 2 years they draw well, so they fall in the trap of thinking it's because of some reason. We focused on years 3 right off the bat. Most minor league baseball teams do not measure fan experience like we do. Most don't measure employee experience. We measure our seasonal employee experience because that's the key to this thing. Create the right place for our workforce and then they'll create hopefully the right place for you. So I think it's looking at the metrics very closely. We offer training. We just had training today for an hour and a half of our managers, how to be a leader, how to have the skills. So I think from day one, we focused on the fan versus focusing on what's happening on the field, because we have no control over that. I get a kick out of these owners that think they have a championship team because they went out on the field. When we won a championship, that's the Marlins. Now, it helped that we had fans there, it helped that we cheered, but we just always felt it was just as important to create an experience whether you win or lose. We've had about the same attendance when we had bad records, media records, good records.
We're starting up a couple new initiatives this year, and chief among them is bringing in a team from the Mexican Professional Baseball League, the Sultanes de Monterrey, for a couple exhibition games before the season starts. I know that was very meaningful to you to bring them up here for that introductory press conference in the fall. What excites you about that new event that'll be coming here before the season begins?
Well, first of all, that's all Bubba Watson. Okay. Bubba wrote a book. I don't know if anybody ever read Bubba's book. Okay. And there's a nice chapter in there about me. Anyway, so I said so. And he talks about, so this guy loves golf. He's very rich. He owns a lot of TV and newspapers in Mexico. And he has a lot of money. And he happens to love two things, baseball and golf.
So do I, but that's
so he wanted to, so it's Bubba. So he contacted us and wanted to come, and he flew into town on his plane, stayed at the Oyster Bay Hotel, a beautiful hotel in downtown Pensacola, which we own. Anyway, so he got to golf with Bubba. And that's when they started talking about, this has been a 2-year journey. We couldn't pull it off last year because you gotta get major league approval. The Marlins have to approve it. And so he really wanted to come. So what excites me the most is this will be nationally televised. Our series in here will have, I think, is it a 3-game series?
2 games. It'll be the Tuesday and Wednesday before the season begins. Opening day will be on a Friday night here at home.
So we'll be a national story in Mexico. And I think that anytime you can create your brand and get it out, I think it's really, really important. You know, I love the Blue Angels, but when they fly, people don't know they're from Pensacola. It doesn't say Pensacola on it. Because when I talk to people, tell them the Blue Angels are in Pensacola, so I didn't know that. And I love the Blue Angels, and they're great ambassadors, please. That's why I'm glad when D.C. Reeves was negotiating on American Magic, he made them put Pensacola on their sale. So they are there in Pensacola. So I think having that brand in Pensacola and being out is really, really important. And this is really important to Bubba. I mean, Bubba cried at the press conference, and so Bubba pulled it off. And they came in last time, he golfs with them, and so I think it's really, really quite exciting. And who knows? But so Bubba's a great ambassador for our community, as you know.
Final question for me, and then we'll see if John shows up at 6:10. But you know,
I told him not to because I wanted more time.
This franchise began as an affiliate of the Cincinnati Reds. They were
the Reds.
Briefly,
Still love the Reds.
Briefly affiliated with the Minnesota Twins, and since 2021, they've been affiliated with the Miami Marlins. The Marlins provided players that brought the Blue Wahoos a league championship in 22, best regular season record, and another playoff appearance last year. But how would you describe the nature of the relationship with the Marlins and what they've been able to provide the Blue Wahoos?
Well, first of all, I love the Reds. Nick Kroll and I still text. He's their GM. Of course, Tommy Thrall, I listen to him still. He came down here this year to have see great relationships with these people. The Twins, we didn't know that much. I love Dave St. Peter, the president of Twins. But, you know, it's not it didn't work before. Every 2 years, teams could put, do they want to switch, do they want to change? So there was no continuity. Major League Baseball did not like that. So that's when Major League Baseball took over minor league baseball. Part of it was you have a 10-year agreement. I like that. Because if you got a 2-year agreement, do you really work that hard at the relationship? Now, my wife's not here, but if you said, take this wife for the next 2 years, or she would have said, take this husband, you're thinking, do you work that hard? And I think knowing that we're with the Marlins for 10 years, you work hard at the relationship. You know, we survey the Marlins and how we're doing. So the Marlins have been great great to work with. And Bruce Sherman, the owner, read my book, Sundays with Quint. And when they made the playoffs, he actually wrote me a text and said, I want you to know I've implemented a lot of your stuff here in Miami to make this a great place for people to work. So we're very appreciative of Miami. We're sort of just neat, So you work, you try to create a great relationship. And I don't think there's been very few issues. Now remember, we have very strict rules now, so there's not much flexibility, which is good. So there's standards on buses, standard on hotels, standard on food, which is really good. And our players from Miami love playing here. In fact, are we on tape?
We are, yeah.
Never mind for the next one. They really do love playing here. They really do, because when they go somewhere else, they would text me.
I'll just add to that, this is by far, coming off last year, the best home record that we've ever seen here with the Blue Wahoos. So the fan support has really made the difference and made this a desirable place to play. Quint, I'm going to let you go and continue to meet people here. We've got John in the back, and we want to stay on schedule. Any parting words?
Yeah, we're very lucky to have the staff we have. So, I do very little. I really do. I hardly I really do. Our staff is phenomenal. Jonathan Griffith, Rishi and I've always said, if Jonathan's not here, we're not here, because he really runs the day-to-day operations. If you would keep Steve Bryce, our GM, him and his wife had a baby about 3 weeks ago, very serious physical heart issues. So they were in Shands Hospital for a long time. So if you keep them in your prayers, baby needs to gain 10 pounds and they can do a heart surgery on the little girl. So he's not here tonight, or he would be. We try to keep staff, and we try to, our food service with Travis Wilson and Eric Kroll. So our strength is retaining talent. Because you like your ushers. I remember, God, the big mistake we made first year, we decided to rotate ushers. That lasted 2 games. I want my usher, I like my usher. And again, our strength is our seasonal staff, who their employee engagement, as we measured, is very, very high. So we're just very fortunate to have really the staff. And that's the thing that I think makes us really exceptional. Some minor league teams just rotate people, and we don't. We take retention of talent really, really seriously here. And I think that's our strength. And you're our strength. We're very, very appreciative of everything you do. We know you could be anywhere. And last, I'll tell you about Erik. Our last 2 people are in the major leagues. He's got certainly the talent to be in the major leagues right now. He's a professional major league announcer that happens to be in Pensacola right now. So let's give Erik Bremer a nice
Quint Studer, everybody. Thank you, Quint.